Long time ago, a group of young boys in Eden village were summoned by their king. They all gathered at the palace. The king ordered them to start farming for him. He promised to support them but failed to do anything. So the boys decided to raise money among themselves to get the equipment needed. They all gathered their resources together to invest in the farming with the aim of sharing the proceeds of the farming as well as using some to develop the town. They gathered some money, but the money wasn't enough to start the project. So Alani, one of the boys, suggested to others that they should go to the neighboring town to get a loan. They all agreed. Alani got in touch with his friend Ajadi from Mende Mende town regarding the loan. Ajadi promised to help him secure the loan. He told his other friends about the good news. Alani and two other friends, Oje and Kola, set out on a journey to Mende Mende village. They got there. Ajadi took them straight to the village head's house. They greeted him and explained their mission in the town. They pleaded with the village head to help and support them by borrowing them some money. The village head agreed to borrow them the money. He quickly sent for his cabinet members as he wants them to meet his cabinet members and explain their mission to them. The cabinet members came swiftly, met with Ajani, Oje, and Kola. The chief welcomed them once again. The village head told his cabinet members their mission. They all looked at each other and smiled. The villagers said, "Yes, we will borrow you the money, but on one condition." Oje said, "Whatever condition, we are fine and okay." The village head and his chiefs looked at each other again and laughed. The village head went inside and brought out a bag containing money, but before handing the bag over, he gave them a paper to sign. Ajani, Oje, and Kola were so happy and excited. They did not even bother to read the content of the paper. Oje and Kola signed the paper, and the bag containing the money was handed over to them. They were so glad. They thanked the village head and his chiefs. Ajani turned to his friend Ajadi. He thanked him as well, and they left. They got back to Ede village with so much joy and excitement. They had a meeting with their other friends regarding the good news of the loan. They all agreed on what to buy and when to start. Time passed, the farming business was booming. Other neighboring villages became envious of some residents in Eden's village. King Oganla from Mende Mende village heard the good news about Ede village. He was so happy. He sent for his chiefs and told them, "I think it's time for us to take over Ede village." They all agreed. Delegates were sent to Ede's village to meet with the king, King Itelorun. They greeted him, showed him the agreement paper, and told him to vacate his palace within the next 7 days. King Itelorun told King Oganla's chiefs to tell him that he, King Itelorun, did not sign any agreement with him, and he cannot ask him to vacate his palace. He has no right over his kingdom. The chiefs left, got back, and relayed King Itelorun's message to King Oganla. He got angry and asked his warriors to be ready for war. King Itelorun sent for Oje, Kola, and Ajani. They got to the palace. The king asked them if they did get any loan from King Oganla. They said yes. He asked if they signed any agreement and if he told them about any condition attached to the loan. They said they signed a plain white paper and he did not tell them about any condition attached to the loan. King Itelorun told them about King Oganla's chief's visit and his request for him to surrender the throne to him. The three boys looked at themselves and they said he must be a joker. Ajani said, "Long time ago, my great-great-grandfather told his then great-grandchildren how King Oganla's great-great-grandfather was forcefully taking over people's property and land by deceit. So King Oganla is trying to do the same again." He said he heard the story of how his grandfather tricked his own grandfather and took over his land and their properties. Ajani said Ever since he heard that story, he has been looking for a way of taking his family's wealth back from him, and luckily the opportunity presented itself. Ajani told King Itelorun not to worry himself, he has everything under control. He told the king that he already told his uncle, who is a lawyer in the city, about King Oganla and his deceitful way of life. Ajani said King Oganla signed a plain white paper with no writing on it before he gave it to us to sign as well. Unknown to him that one of his chiefs, Chief Okin, is my uncle. King Itelorun asked, "Your uncle Ke?" "How? I'm confused now. We have all this planned out. Chief Okin told me how King Oganla has been forcefully taking over people's property and money. He will borrow them money, make them sign a paper, and later come back to take over their property." So King Okin saw the plain paper we signed, took a copy of it, and he also got a copy of the agreement he later typed before and after our signature was attached. All these documents are with the lawyer, so we have nothing to worry about. The money he claimed we borrow from him is our great-great-grandfather's money, and it will interest you to know that some of Mende's village land belongs to Eden village. Ajani said King Oganla thinks he is smart, but I'm sorry to disappoint him that I, Ajani, the grandson of Asegun of Eden village, is smarter. Time passed. Some government officials visited King Oganla regarding this issue. They served him a court letter. He went to court. He lost the case against Ajani and his friends. He was asked to return Eden's landed property in his possession.
For more entertaining, educative, and interesting stories, please like, share, comment, turn on your notification, and please subscribe to Folktales by Adurabola on YouTube. Your support is our strength. Thank you!